I can well remember hearing President Ronald Reagan say, "There you go again." And there's probably viewers out there that are going to think to themselves, "There you go again," because I'm going to be making an excuse here for why we're going to have a short video today. Yeah, I'm looking at my clock right now as I'm speaking, and it's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The whole morning was spent up with over an appointment, and on the way back I had to stop off at the store and pick up some double-sided tape. Well, that was sort of model related. Yeah, it's not like I never had any in the workshop or anything like that. But anyway, seems to me at the end of yesterday's video I was talking about we'll put the macro lens on and have a real close look. Well, let's do that now. Now I've got my ballpoint pen in this shot for a reason. Take a look at the ball and the end of the ballpoint pen. You know how small that is? Well, it's a lot bigger than those little holes in that grate. You're going to notice on the left-hand side it might appear that the paint plugged up the holes. Well, that was the CA glue. I remember that from before. I think I got a little bit over-aggressive there when I was gluing some of those pieces on. I feel kind of bad about that, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it now. Anyway, yeah, that spray, or that airbrush rather, did a really good job. I'm very happy with that airbrush. The only thing I'm not happy about is it takes about 15-20 minutes to clean it out every time. But that's the way it goes. Can't have everything, right? Here we are back at step number 8. And as you can see, there's quite a few pieces that have to be removed from the sprues, and it looks like there's 2 photo etch pieces yet that have to come off before we can actually complete step 8, as well as all the little pieces that we have already made that get dropped down on the bow. But there's a little bit of a problem. It's not a huge problem, I guess. Well, I guess it could be if you're into detail. Well, I'll show you. I have just now cut this off the sprue. It's supposed to go right here, I believe. And what makes me think that is that you see that there's 4 little pins. One there, there, and there. And there's 4 little holes here. So I'm thinking that has to go into those holes. Now, it won't be too hard to paint this. I can spray this the same color as all the other parts we did yesterday. However, we've got all these little things here. Now I can quite well imagine that these were supposed to be painted a different color. I doubt very much if in reality the real Bismarck had these brackets or whatever those are, you know, painted deck tan. But here we go again. If I was to paint these, I think it's going to look worse than if I just leave them the color they are right now. They are just too small. And if I try to get a little tiny, you know, even with a toothpick or even one hair on the brush, and try and get one little tiny, you know, bit of paint, you know, on each one of these tiny little things, it's going to look terrible. So I'm just going to leave them. And this will be easy. This thing here will be easy to paint because after I get the sprue, you know, clipped off of it and get it cleaned up a bit, it'll spray up really nice. This is the breakwater. I think probably everybody knows that anyway. Now, as long as we're talking about painting, this part right here, I'm almost sure this would not have been wood decking. It would have been some sort of metal, and the chain would have dragged along on this part right here and through this little channel and here, and then the anchor would be down here, of course. So I'm going to want to paint this before I start getting too much stuff stuck on there. And maybe I'll do that before I worry about this. You know, it's really funny. Every time you think you're going to be able to, make a big jump forward, you find out there's a whole lot of little things that have to be done. And yeah, I'm not getting discouraged or anything. It's just that I'm realizing that maybe we won't have this done in a year. But if we don't have it done in a year, well, is that really all that serious? This whole idea, the whole idea of this thing is actually just to try to give me something to do here. And believe me, it's doing it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow, all being well.